Hey guys, it's Con from Hollywood Studios here, and today I'm going to be talking about a very highly suggested video, and this is, what is Great Adventure going to get after Jersey Devil? So, as I'm sure all of you know by now, Jersey Devil, as of right now, just opened about a week or two ago, and it has so far been a really good addition for the park, at least I think. I think it fills a gap that we didn't even know existed, which is another really good coaster at the park. I rank it in the top 4 of the park, and I know a lot of people would agree with me on that, and I think it really adds a lot of depth to Great Adventure's lineup. But this is 2021's edition, and was supposed to be 2020's edition. What's coming next after Jersey Devil? Now, yes, I know Little Devils or Roadrunner Railway is coming back. I already made a video on that, so if you want to see more about that, tap the iCard that is on the screen right now. But besides Roadrunner Railway's return, what's going to happen in 2022? 2023, 2024. So that's what today's video is about, discussing what Great Adventure will be getting next, because I think that Jersey Devil marks a turning point for the park. As many of you know, before Jersey Devil, Great Adventure's last major, non-relocated, non-cloned edition, roller coaster edition, was El Toro in 2006. It's 2021. That was a while ago. In between, sure, we got Dark Knight in 2008, Green Lantern, which was a relocation in 2011, and Joker in 2016, with a bunch of really good flats in between. But that's a big gap in terms of major coasters. And I think now that Hershey Park is starting to ramp up, American Dream isn't very far away from Great Adventure, and there's been a lot of experts predicting a massive theme park attendance boom in 2021 and 2022. I think that Great Adventure specifically is going to step on their game. I think Six Flags is going to start pumping some money into the park, and I think we're going to see some really good additions coming in the next few years. So, what are those additions? For starters, I think next year we all know that it's going to be some form of a kiddie area revamp. Great Adventure currently has 2 main kiddie areas, which is Bugs Bunny National Park over by El Toro and Runaway Train, and then you have whatever you want to call the mess by Skull Mountain. I'm not going to lie. Safari Kids is kind of messy right now. It's split up between the section by Skull Mountain and the section by Nitro, with in between being Jersey Devil. It's very weird. Little Devil's going right by the side where Nitro is. It's just a really divided mess that doesn't even look that great. And I know the park knows this, and they're working to improve it, and I think all those improvements are going to come to light next year. I think they're going to refurbish and bring back all the kiddie rides that were dropped from Seaport, and we can see that already with their plans to reopen Roadrunner Railway. Land has already been cleared for that. I bet you they're going to open it this year. As for the rest of the land, though, I think they're going to totally retheme it. I think a really cool theme would be something along the lines of the Pine Barrens. That whole back area of the park by Nitro and now Jersey Devil does not have a coherent theme whatsoever. It's called Seaport technically, after Looney Tunes Seaport, which is gone now. So it's a very incoherent area that really just needs something to tie it all together. I think a kiddie area with theming to go around it will really help that, even if it's themed to Timber Town. I think that would really help too. Just something that fits in with a woods type theme due to Jersey Devil being right next to the kiddie area. But like I said, kiddie area, I think that will definitely be for 2022. 2023, I don't think this will be the year we get a coaster, and the reason for that is the fact that 2024 is the park's big 50th anniversary. And we've had plenty of conversations with higher-ups at the park when we see them walking around, but specifically Park President John Winkler had told us that they're planning to do really big stuff for Great Adventure in 2024 for the 50th anniversary. He said they want to make the whole getting in experience and just the park atmosphere better for the 50th anniversary. So that obviously means new toll plaza, new entrance sign, new entrance, just the whole 9 yards is going to be improved. So that means that old Six Flags Great Adventure sign on 537 probably going to get fixed up and replaced. The toll plaza, which is really kind of old and dated, I'm sure it's going to be replaced. And the entrance, which has definitely been in desperate need of some form of refurb or rehab, is going to get it. As for rides, I think that we're probably going to get some form of a roller coaster in 2024, but we're kind of skipping over 2023, which is when I think we'll be getting a thrill or family ride. I think 2022 and 2023 are definitely be more of off years for the park, and there's a specific area in the park, more so a very small area, that I think a ride would be a perfect fit for, and I've actually mapped it out on Google Earth, and it's a perfect fit. Right next to the bumper cars, there's a massive plot of concrete. Perfect spot for flyers. As you can see here, I have flyers from Dorney Park overlaid into the area, and it fits perfectly. There's plenty of room for a queue. You can take out that old high striker game that has never been used, or at least hasn't been for a while, and you'd be able to revitalize that area a little bit and make it look even nicer. The fender benders are still new, but I think that area right next to it definitely needs some help, and flyers would both fill in a massive gap in the park, meaning both figuratively and literally. Figuratively meaning in the park's ride lineup. I don't know why the park does not have flyers yet. They're such a fun flat ride, and it would fill in a big open plot of land that is just concrete right now. Throw down flyers right next to fender benders. Please, Great Adventure. Another ride type that I think would be cool for Great Adventure is a Troika. I personally really like Troikas. I know some people don't really care about flat rides. I do. And Troikas are definitely ones that I enjoy. They're pretty high capacity. I mean, they're nothing crazy, but they'd be fine at a park like Great Adventure when they're just a family ride. As for where they could put it anywhere. This park is huge. I mean, they don't have to put it right next to the flyers. I'm sure they could find some plot of land for a Troika. But 2023, I definitely think will be some form of family or thrill ride. I can't really think of any thrill rides that the park would need since, well, they kind of have all the Six Flags template thrill rides. So family rides like flyers and or a Troika would be really, really good for 2023. Now we're jumping over to 2024, the park's 50th anniversary. Like I said, this year will be big. I mean big for the park. And if they're going to go all in on making the park a better experience, why would they not get another new coaster? It'll be 3 years since Jersey Devil, so I definitely think it's a good gap for them to get a coaster right away then. And especially if Six Flags is going to plan to dump more money into this park, considering they kept them afloat during 2020 during the pandemic. Great Adventure by far had the best numbers and had the best attendance compared to the rest of the Six Flags parks that were open in 2020. Magic Mountain, Great America, New England, among others, were not open in 2020, which did a pretty big job on the company as a whole. Definitely brought them down. But if it wasn't for Great Adventure being able to open, the company probably went bankrupt, I'm not going to lie. So I think they're going to show some thankfulness towards Great Adventure and see we can make this park even bigger. And especially with the big sports and hotel complex being constructed right next to the park on Route 537, I think once that opens, the park will continue to get more and more investments to hopefully make it into more of a resort destination, in addition to attracting a local crowd from New York City, Philadelphia, and all of New Jersey. So, what coaster will they get in 2024? Well, this hinges on a few things. For one, will Six Flags still be working with the same manufacturers? Their three most commonly worked with manufacturers at the moment are RMC, S&S, and Premier. S&S they tend to just install free flies from. They did branch out a little bit and get an air launch coaster in the form of Max Force at Six Flags Great America. And there are heavy rumors that Six Flags Fiesta Texas will be getting an Axis coaster from S&S in 2022, which is next year. If this happens, I think Great Adventure will definitely be able to swing a bigger S&S Axis for the park. But what if that doesn't happen? What if Fiesta Texas doesn't build an Axis? Well, a Premier multi-launch in the style of West Coast Racers makes perfect sense at this park. We have been missing a launch coaster that isn't breakneck intense like King Ka ever since the removal of the chiller back in 2007. Now, yeah, I don't know that the park would really want to sort of bring back a coaster that had a pretty shoddy history at the park, where chiller was definitely not a very reliable ride, but this is something the park really needs. Premier multi-launches, at least in the style of West Coast Racers, can definitely appeal to a family audience, and that's definitely something Great Adventure's coaster lineup definitely needs to do more. Jersey Devil, even though I do think it fits into the lineup great, didn't help that much with what they're missing. What they're missing are more good in-between coasters. When you look at their lineup, you have Roadrunner Railway and Harley Quinn, which are the bottom of the barrel like kiddie rides. Then you have Runaway Train, Skull Mountain, Dark Knight. And what's next after that? Green Lantern, Superman, Joker, Thor, all the big rides at the park. They need something in between. Now, yes, a Premier Multi-Launch could be one of the best coasters at the park, but in terms of intensity level, it can appeal to kids between the ages of 6 to 10, who may not be willing to go on a ride like El Toro or Nitro or even Jersey Devil. So I think a Premier Multi-Launch is something the park desperately needs, and it would really fill a bad void in their lineup right now. Another thing to keep your eye on is the Rmc Family Coaster. So Fun Spot Atlanta has not fully confirmed what they're getting yet. They have confirmed they're getting a hybrid coaster of some form, and I personally think it's a family coaster, since they don't have much room, and Twisted Cyclone is, 20-30 minutes down the road? So if the Rmc Family Coaster does catch on, and they can build bigger models for bigger parks like Great Adventure, I think this would be a fantastic fit at the park. Six Flags as a whole has not worked with GCI in years, and I think a GCI that is more family oriented would be perfect at the park. Maybe even a dueling GCI to kind of bring back what Rolling Thunder did for the park. But like I said, they don't work with GCI very much at all. So I think the next best bet would be an Rmc Family Coaster to kind of fill the void that the Premier could fill. Now, Family Coaster by RMC would definitely be much more family-oriented as opposed to thrill-oriented, but we still have to see how they turn out. Can't really make that judgment call yet. So, as for 2024, what do I think the park will get? Definitely a coaster. If I had to put my money on the most likely coaster for them to get, I'd say a Premier Multi-Launch. Now, after 2024, it's kind of tough to predict. We don't know where the economy is going to be. We don't know where Six Flags as a company is going to be. More importantly, we don't know who they're going to be working with, what the manufacturers will come up with, or even what people will be interested in. Maybe people won't care about coasters anymore. Maybe people will only want coasters in 2025. We don't know. This is 2021. So it's definitely hard to pick what the park will get. But my hope is that coasters will become more and more popular and more demand, and I hope that prices for stuff like steel and wood will go down, because right now they're at a ridiculously high level. And yeah, I really do hope that coasters can come to Great Adventure as soon as possible. If a Premier Multi-Launch is built in 2024, I can see a Family Coaster by RMC and maybe even an S&S Axis Coaster coming to the park in the following years. But that's just my theories and my thoughts on what Great Adventure will be getting after Jersey Devil Coaster in 2021. If you guys agreed, disagreed, or have any other comments or concerns, leave them in the comment section down below. Be sure to like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss another upload by Hollywood Studios. And I will see you guys next time.